Welcome to MVP, the Messiah Victory Podcast, the #1 Wells Lutheran podcast in Wichita, Kansas. Hosted by Pastors John Rockhoff and Jake Jenswold, MVP is your go-to destination for lively conversation on hot topics with a biblical perspective. They'll also be talking about what's going on currently at Messiah and Victory churches. In today's shorter episode, the pastors talk a bit about this and that, including a reflection on 9/11 and its impact on Americans' faith.
So, wait. You only have...
Look at that.
Oh no, did you not print the notes?
I got the notes right here, and I got Hulk Hogan on the back.
Okay.
What comes first? What are we talking about?
You can do your
What's the order here?
No,
Well,
No, I show up.
Well,
I'm just a face.
that's all. That it is noted that hopefully the other pastor is going to take his turn in leading, which do not think that I have. Do not think I've taken this task upon myself.
That would be a quiet podcast.
It's been kind of, I volleyed and he volleyed back and said game, set, match as far as who's kind of hosting. So so we're good. You know, it
ended really quick.
People, you know, they thought you were lovely. The early comments were that you were super. You can see this. We've been picked up by the network because we're back, which is a little shocking. We thought it might be one of those pilot projects that would go awry and never hear from again. But notice, if you're wondering, we are taping on Thursday. You can tell that, you know, he's got his little boy outfit on, and the Packers are playing. Where were the Packers? If you say the Pack is back, where were they? Where were they is what I want to know.
No. You didn't. You misread it.
Oh. Back. Were you born back then?
6.
Were you born then?
I was.
Okay. You were like 3 or something, weren't you?
Well, no, I was 4.
Did you remember that well, those years?
Very well.
I thought you did, probably. You know, just...
favorites.
My father, I'm going to admit this, was a Packer fan. My dad grew up in Wisconsin, big Packer fan. We lived in Michigan. He had a call to New Orleans once, and I was going into, I think it's 8th grade. Our biggest fear, my brothers and I, Dad, you can't take that call because we'll have to root for the Saints.
Oh, you thought that wherever you lived.
I thought that, you know, and then I was amazed that, that you don't do that necessarily. You just hang on to your team. And so my dad didn't follow baseball at all. And we said, Dad, who do you like to win this year? And he said, I got the Jets. And we said, Dad, there are no Jets in baseball. Oh, and I go, well, there's the Mets. And he goes, I'll take them. I go, Dad, the Mets are the worst team in baseball. Yeah, I got the Mets. 1969, when I was 8 years old, was when that happened. The Mets won the World Series.
Wow.
There you go. That's, you know, my dad remembered that.
That was the era before DraftKings, too.
Yeah, you weren't putting anything on FanDuel back then because the odds would have been pretty good, but Dad took the Mets and they won it all. So, well, hey, we're back, and it's only been a couple of weeks, right? Not a lot. You still have the things going on with handover days.
Yeah, I don't know how much update I have on that.
Yeah, that's
same stuff we said last time.
So I don't think there's too much going on. New as far as updates. We got some things, you know. We got a plant swap coming up. Anyone wants to come and trade off plants? That's on October 4th, 11 to 1. You can come and trade plants. I don't have any. People who know will know. If those who know
will know.
I don't have the plants. Perfect. But I should have. We have shirts out. I've got my shirts. I should have been wearing one. I completely could have been wearing and you know, repping the brand a little bit there, and I kind of missed that layup. So
some of us didn't.
Hey, one of our goals is this won't be a 50-minute podcast. We might, you know, do some splicing and put a couple out there because we thought the first one, you know, people would be entrenched in it and kind of sucked in, and we could let it roll for 50 minutes. But we understand that's a long time. I don't have that many cat stories to fill the dead air.
You do.
You know, so well.
It's just they don't want to hear them all at once.
Well, I do have, you know, since we're unscripted here, I have my puppy story.
Okay.
Which is, you know, I have a little Shorky puppy named Elsie. And I'm not even sure what day it was. Was it early? Oh, it was Monday. We had a pastor circuit meeting in Topeka. And this is fresh. My members, you haven't even heard this yet because I haven't had time to tell a Bible class. So my wife says, are you home yet? And I said, I just dropped off Pastor Jenswold. And as I came across town, I don't know if I even told you this, but storm hit. Traffic was stopped on Kellogg, dead stop, because here's this torrential I mean, cars were just stopped. So my wife says, have you got home yet? And I said, no. And she goes, I'm going there now. And she calls me again. She's coming home from school, and she says, where's the dog? And I said, the dog is in a little pen we have when we put her, deathly afraid of storms. She goes, she's not in there. Did you tell someone to come pick up the dog? I go, no, but I did not. She goes, I've looked everywhere. I went down and looked in the sump pump thinking, did our poor little 10-pound dog?
I mean, it got dark really fast. Immediate dark.
Well, there could be a...
But that's a wild assumption.
I could tell you about a member's guinea pig.
Well,
but I'm
guinea
sorry
pigs,
for the...
yeah.
If you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't think you knew who it is.
Leap.
So... No sign of it. And I said, she has got to be there. She goes, how'd she get out of her pen? I said, she can vault that pen. She got scared. She'd go on that trampoline of a bed she's got, and she's out. So I get home, and my wife is sitting there on the couch, and she's on her phone, and she's not a crier, but it looked like she was close. And I haven't found her. I've done the garage door where she barks and usually runs to the door. I can't find her. And she's checking lost and found in the neighborhood and calling the shelters and stuff like that. And I go, how would she get out of the house? And I go, okay. And I get in the closet and throw my shoes in the closet. And I hear something, and I look. She's in my clothes hamper. What? And she's just not barking or anything. She's just kind of looking at me, and the little tail's wagging. I go, Deborah, and I said it in my happy voice because I didn't want to say, Deb, come here. I did think, wow. Deb, come here. What? So I go, Deb, come here. And she goes, what? And I go, look in there. And she goes, you put her in there. And I go, no, I did not. It's like one of these basket plastic things that you got to handle. But it's this high. And the only thing I can think of, she was panicking, jumped, and got into it. And then it kind of sprung back or something. And there she sat. And my wife said, well, did she smell your shirt or something? I go, I don't know if it's that in-depth. But she was just sitting there looking, and Deb goes, I was calling throughout the house, and she didn't bark or say anything. If we believed in the rapture,
I don't know.
Maybe we would have thought she got raptured.
So many things there.
It's bizarre. It's one of those things like, what in the world? How did she really get in there? How did she get out of her pen? Runs into the closet, jumps into my hamper, and just sitting there. It doesn't even acknowledge my wife when she was
barking
for probably 20 minutes before I got home, walking the house.
Well, now you know where to put her during storms.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we concluded.
Didn't make a sound.
Okay, go into the hamper. So I'm fairly certain my wife still thinks that I put her in there, which would then say, well, where was she then? Why did you not see her?
I think before you left, you put her in there. Yes. Before you left in the morning, she just sat in that hamper.
You are a bad doggy. You're going in the closet, because that's where I put you in the dark closet when you're a bad doggy. No,
well, she seemed okay with that, too.
So how she got out of that little pen, I can understand that, but how she jumped in the hamper, I don't know. So I'd have to see it again, Well. Anyway, that's I don't know if that's what I wanted to lead with. It just came to mind that's what we had. So okay, maybe we'll just do this if you want to add this part in, that we didn't mention the sports. Graciously not talking about how my team, the Lions, just played one of the worst games ever and lost to the Pack. Well, like I said, you were favored. You're at home. We couldn't beat you 4 times in a row at home.
Yeah.
So, we're 0-1. That's okay. You guys played tonight, big game. By the time you're seeing this, who knows? Maybe he's right in saying the Pack is back to back.
You
got to go back into the 90s. Whew. I know. This was one question.
Don't do that.
This was
foolish.
Just to summarize, our fantasy teams, we both lost. We're 0-1, both of us. He lost by, and people don't know fantasy. If you do, you're going to go and do a head slap. Like, I can't believe 0.61 points he lost, which is funny because that's like barely. So anyway,
yours was convincingly.
I got wiped out. Yeah. So I'm like the Lions. I'm 0-1. You're 0-1. Plenty of time.
Yep.
So we'll cover that. I did ask over lunch. This is noteworthy because it tells us what age we are. We're recording this on 9/11, and I asked you. You remember what you were doing at 9/11? To which you told me
I was in my 5th and 6th grade classroom.
And I feel really old. And you say, wow, it was that long ago. And as I shared with you, I was at conference, I believe in Norfolk, Nebraska, with one of my vicars, Dave Calpine. I've got to bleep his name now because this is
he's a public figure. It's okay.
He's a public figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. And I remember getting up for conference. I got out of the shower, and he said, a plane just hit one of the Twin Towers, to which my first thought was a little prop plane, nicked a building, because I thought, oh, okay. Then, we sit down, we see it, and then I can't remember for sure, because I'm old, whether we were on the way to conference when the second plane hit, if we saw it there, but everyone talking about it at conference, and then we did the morning somehow, and then at noon we got the TVs out and watched what was going on. And to say you were a fifth grader, I'm thinking that doesn't seem that long ago. That just seemed like that was so captivating, and the fallout from it was pretty. I know I flew. I don't know how long they didn't have any. I didn't fly too long after that, where it was the first wave of, we pretty much have to check everything and you can't take anything on. And it was even flying, I think, to permission board meetings to Milwaukee, and how that was kind of surreal, that we were, this wasn't what we used to do. And the fact that we also noticed, I don't know, not so much here, but nationwide, this resurgence of church attendance, because all of a sudden, when we have an attack on our soil, we're vulnerable, and this could happen to me. So this rush back to churches, and they even showed it on some newscast, like, wow, all these churches. And so that kind of sparked, hey, maybe we should get to church. And where we had to have answers for people too, saying, since when does God ever guarantee any of us this long time here on this earth? And, God allows bad things to happen, but always for the good of his church, the good of his people. And how many people, even though that so many died, were maybe saved spiritually because they took a look at their life? There's the bell curve that shows it didn't take too long before church attendance went back to what it was, because people, that they felt better. But I don't know, did you, as a fifth grader watching it, No,
I remember, oh boy, that was really ingrained in my head. I still remember watching the aftermath. Once the second plane hit, I remember they wheeled in the TV on the cart and let us watch all the coverage of what was going on. And I think that was about the time they started talking about the plane that hit the Pentagon too, and then the one they found out in the field. I think we were watching it while those things happened. But yeah, I remember getting back out to the car after school was over and talking to my dad and sort of his shock, maybe, is what it was. And I remember wanting to ask questions and him being like, I don't have answers either. Let's just listen to this radio, right? We're just going to listen to the coverage of what's going on, because, boy, no one knew what was going on that day.
Yeah, there was no understanding of who it was. Is this a foreign nation attack? Just the number of people trying to make sense of it, and everything happening so fast. And when there was the Pentagon, there's another plane that went down. How many planes were there, and why did this get picked up? And just to actually live through that live, and I remember as a pastor trying to, how do you apply that to your people to still give them that comfort that God is in control when it looked like everything was out of control for a while? And to say that maybe we get a little too comfortable sometimes in thinking nothing is going to ever happen here. And you think of people throughout the world that live in war-torn areas where that's a constant fear. So I think it makes you thankful for what we have, but also aware that you don't take anything for granted, that there are no promises for us. And the people that died as God's children, that was God's way of saying, I want you in heaven. Those that did not, God's judgment comes, doesn't mean that they're going to have 80 years on this earth to have that time of grace. So again, it's where we leave it in God's hands. And finally, we become comfortable with saying, maybe we don't always know.
Yeah.
And
moments to pray for those who are hurt, affected by this, and also reflect for yourself, right? And remember, that probably should have been me. And that's what my sins deserve, and yet I'm here, so...
And it's
what do we do with this?
It's good to never forget. Makes sense even spiritually to say, let's not forget. When you hear the stories, and usually stories of bravery or people that have lost loved ones, and never forget them, but never forget we're here. We're only here for a little while, and there's no guarantee how long. And however God chooses to take us, I use this for people quite often, that God will never take you a day too soon or a day too early, because you hear that saying, well, it wasn't their time. There's so many young people that, before their time, and they just, there's their first day on the job and think, no, God's timing for his children is always perfect. And I hope the families that did lose loved ones have that kind of comfort. So, but just 9/11, it's hard to, miss the timing. Oh. So. Yep.
Well, that's a wrap, huh?
Yeah, so we got everything covered?
Got them down.
Yeah, look at that. Right. Just a dog story? That's probably in the other podcast.
Nope.
It's not in this one. Don't get confused.
All of this.
Don't get confused, because we're going to try to get these.
The easiest thing to do is to keep it vague and say, thanks for joining us. And come back next time.
We don't want to overload you with too much, because, we're renewed for the next 24 episodes. Is that what you told me, Pastor?
Look, your nurse told me last time. She was worried.
I can only get out for a little while.
Yep. So we got to get you back.
So, I'm glad we got the time frame in here. But we enjoy doing these, and I think thank you for those subscribed and those who commented and those who watched. Generally good comments. That it's a nice way to keep you informed as to how in touch Pastor Jenswold and I are, and not just football questions, but anything, and provide questions. This is what we like to be, have as kind of a good part of the segment, is answering some of these questions, because that gets us talking about what we talk about at lunch and go over these things. So we don't have like a stay classy or anything like that. We don't have any of that stuff yet. We got to work on something we say. Like
you can find your own catchphrase.
I got to work on that, So, okay.
Till next time.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Messiah Victory podcast. Check out the show notes or video description to find our websites, socials, and the anonymous survey link where you can ask questions, request a topic for discussion, or just leave a comment.